Everything shifted the moment Liam, Daniel's son from his first marriage, showed up on our doorstep in Seattle. What I thought would be a simple act of family support quickly spiraled into a tangle of hidden longings, unspoken truths, and choices that would forever alter my life. Amid stolen glances, mounting tension, and the surprising presence of my sister-in-law, Isabella, Daniel's younger sibling, my world tilted in ways I never anticipated. Hello, listener. I'm not entirely sure what drew you here, but I have a feeling you'll stay. This isn't your typical story. It's one that will stir your thoughts, awaken emotions you didn't expect, and leave you craving more than you bargained for. Buckle up, your heart might just race. My days had always flowed like the steady rain over Puget Sound, predictable and calm. But that all changed when Liam reached out to his dad. My name is Sophia, a 52-year-old homemaker in this misty city by the water. I've been married to Daniel for more than 20 years. He runs a busy logistics firm and is constantly on the road, sealing deals, leaving me alone in our cozy craftsman home more often than not. So when Daniel mentioned Liam needed a place to stay after a messy breakup, I agreed without hesitation. He was family, after all. How bad could it be? The afternoon he pulled up in his weather truck, I realized I wasn't prepared. Years had passed since I last saw him, and the lanky teen I remembered had grown into a striking young man, broad-shouldered, confident, with eyes that seemed to pierce straight through you. "Thanks for letting me stay, Sophia," he said, his grin easy and warm. Oddly, a flutter stirred in my chest I couldn't explain. Little did I know, his arrival would rewrite the quiet chapters of my existence. Liam quickly made himself at home, his vibrant energy filling the house like a fresh sea breeze after a storm. That first evening, over a simple dinner of grilled salmon and greens, he spoke about the breakup with a calm composure that caught me off guard. It was as if the chaos hadn't touched him at all. As he spoke, I found myself studying him, the way his hands moved, the tone of his voice, the fleeting moments when his gaze lingered just a heartbeat too long. "You've got this new vibe about you." "Liam," I said before I could stop myself. He smiled, that easy, charming smile, and replied, "And you've still got the same grace." "Sophia, timeless." His words were casual, yet they echoed softly in my mind, leaving a warmth I couldn't quite place. With Daniel gone half the week, the rhythm of our home began to shift. One morning, while tidying the study, I called for his help moving a stubborn bookshelf. He came over with a nod and a laugh, and as our fingers brushed while lifting it, a jolt raced through me. It was nothing more than a fleeting touch, but my pulse betrayed me. Once the shelf was in place, I caught him watching, expression thoughtful, as if trying to unravel a puzzle. That night, sleep evaded me. His room was just down the hall, and though I willed my mind to quiet, images of him crept in. I rose for a sip of water and passed his slightly open door. Soft guitar strums drifted out. Peeking in, I saw him lounging on the bed, writing in a journal, utterly absorbed. He looked so distant, so immersed in his own world, that I felt like a shadow intruding. Yet I couldn't look away. Something about him pulled me in, an allure I didn't understand. I slipped back to my room, but the image lingered, etched in my mind. Weeks passed, and the subtle tension between us grew, silent but undeniable. One crisp afternoon, as Liam jogged along the backyard path, I stepped out with a glass of iced tea. "Stay hydrated," I said lightly. His gratitude, soft and warm, wrapped around me like a gentle fog, leaving me flushed. In that moment, I realized it wasn't simple admiration. It was something more electric, more insistent. That evening, while cleaning up after dinner, Liam appeared to put away leftovers. "Anything I can help with?" he asked, stepping closer than necessary. "I'm almost done, but thanks," I replied, though his nearness made focus impossible. As I pivoted, his gaze met mine, steady and probing. Sophia, I can't thank you enough for making this feel like home, he murmured, voice low, almost reverent. Time seemed to suspend for a heartbeat. In that instant, I realized the boundary between what was allowed and what was tempting was fraying. Inch by inch, it was unraveling. Can you feel it building, listener? The air is thick, and what comes next will change everything. Later that day. While dusting the sunlit parlor, my phone buzzed. It was Isabella, Daniel's younger sister, swinging by for a catch-up. It's been forever, she chirped, her energy infectious. Her visits were usually casual, but something in her tone hinted at more. By the time she arrived, Liam had returned from a run. He answered the door, and Isabella greeted him with an embrace that lingered just a beat too long. Liam, look at you. All grown and rugged, she teased, laughter bright and teasing. He responded with a polite grin, slightly awkward, yet his charm remained intact. We settled into the parlor, sinking into plush armchairs. Isabella, usually composed, seemed unusually relaxed, her words carrying subtle hints as she spoke to Liam. You've really filled out. Bet you're turning heads in those outdoor classes you lead, she quipped, eyes twinkling. He laughed, rubbing the back of his neck, clearly flattered but shifting in his seat. I nudged the conversation towards safe ground weather. Local spots, but Isabella's playful jabs continued, keeping a charged undertone running through the room. Soon, she proposed opening a bottle of Pinot. Let's make this a real family vibe. Long overdue, she insisted, pouring with flair. I accepted, not wanting to seem distant, and Liam nodded in thanks. As the wine loosened tongues, the conversation deepened. Gliding into more personal territory. Isabella had a knack for guiding dialogue into gray areas. How do you handle all the admiration you get from folks you train? She asked Liam, a mischievous sparkle in her eye. He deflected with humor, but I caught the way his glance slid toward me, testing the waters. The room seemed to shrink around the three of us, charged with unspoken tension. Then, with her trademark confidence, Isabella moved closer, resting a hand lightly on Liam's arm. He started, but didn't pull away. Life reshapes us in wild ways, she said softly. I joined them, settling on his other side. His expression tightened, slightly curiosity, perhaps a flicker of allure, but the air had shifted, heavy and intimate. The next hours were a tangle of conversation, laughter, and subtle touches. I could feel the electricity between Liam and me growing, layered with Isabella's bold presence guiding the rhythm. At one point, my restraint faltered. A fleeting brush of my hand against Liam's thigh sent a jolt through me. His reaction almost imperceptible, but enough to confirm what I had been sensing for weeks. The boundaries I thought I'd maintained were dissolving. That night, lying awake, I felt the lingering pull of Liam's nearness. Shadows of the afternoon replayed in my mind, every glance, every subtle touch. A quiet ache settled deep in my chest, a mix of desire and guilt. The very air of the house felt charged, heavy with the secrets we'd almost whispered aloud. The following morning, breakfast was awkwardly light. Isabella picked at her toast, words clipped, eyes darting around. Might crash at an inn next time, easier that way, she said, her chuckle masking a swirl of emotion. I nodded, concealing my own inner turbulence, recognizing she too wrestled with currents she couldn't fully control. Liam remained calm, composed, but the undercurrent between us was unmistakable. That afternoon, as I sorted linens in the closet, Isabella cornered me. Sophia, we need to talk, she urged, her expression torn. I don't understand how it spiraled. It was electric, but it's eating at me. I can't ignore it. Her confession held regret and unspoken longing, a storm I couldn't dismiss. I tried to soothe her. It was a detour, Isabella. Box it away, move on, I murmured, Though my own assurance felt hollowed out as night fell, Liam approached me in the kitchen. "Sophia, can I have a word?" His voice carried that familiar pull. I followed him to the parlor, where he laid his feelings bare. "You're in my head constantly." His directness struck like lightning, and I hesitated, words failing me. "Liam, we need to draw a line." "This risks too much," I whispered. But he closed the space between us. "It's deeper than that. You feel it too, every time we're close." His certainty wore down my defenses inch by inch. I felt trapped between desire and reason. The quiet of the house seemed to press in, echoing the tension we could no longer ignore. Every glance, every accidental brush intensified the current running between us. The air was thick, electric, almost unbearable. Just when I thought I could contain it, the night whispered possibilities, daring me to surrender to the pull I had resisted for so long. Every heartbeat demanded acknowledgement. Every breath asked questions I couldn't answer. And yet, even as the tension built, I knew the story was far from its climax. The consequences loomed, heavy and unavoidable, and the threads of desire, secrecy, and curiosity tangled tighter with each passing moment. Do you feel it, listener? The heat rising, the stakes escalating, the inevitable choice approaching. What happens next could change everything or destroy it all. The following day, Isabella cut her visit short. "Thanks for everything, Sophia," she said, hugging me briskly, her eyes lingering with unspoken words. Liam waved her off with that effortless warmth of his, as if the air between us had been cleared. Deep down, I knew her departure carved space, both relief and a strange liberation. With her gone, Liam drew closer, the tension between us no longer masked by her presence. That evening, as I settled by the fireside with a book, Liam joined me on the sofa. "Sophia, I see you're torn, but listen," he said earnestly, his voice piercing through the quiet. "Being here has awakened something real in me, something unmatched. I don't want it fading." His words blended vulnerability with insistence, and my defenses wavered. "Liam, Daniel's faith in us. This could shatter everything," I whispered, heart hammering. But the pull between us was undeniable. I found myself leaning closer, drawn into the orbit of his nearness. Every inch he closed, every subtle movement, made it harder to maintain composure. The line between restraint and surrender blurred until it practically vanished. Later that night, the familiar echo of footsteps stirred me. The door creaked open, revealing Liam standing there, eyes searching mine. "Last chance," he murmured, voice thick with feeling. Words failed me, and I remained still, allowing him to approach. His nearness was a warmth I couldn't resist. When his palms cupped my cheeks, the world outside ceased to exist. Our kiss ignited in a blaze of restrained longing, fierce yet gentle, dismantling walls I thought were firm. Every touch, every whispered murmur deepened the intensity. His hands traced paths along my body with reverence, exploring curves and lines that belonged to him in that suspended moment. The rhythm of desire accelerated, breaths intertwining, hearts pounding in sync. Time seemed to stretch and compress simultaneously, each instant charged with unspoken promises and urgent craving. When the intensity subsided, we rested, limbs tangled, breaths slowing. "It'll always be real," Liam whispered, tracing a finger along my arm. I nodded, unable to put the ache and longing into words. Silence enveloped us, yet it carried a weight that neither of us could ignore. Morning arrived with a gentle Seattle drizzle. Liam packed quietly, mentioning a lead on a downtown apartment. Hugs exchanged, words light, but the tension lingered in every glance. Daniel, oblivious to the undercurrents, clapped Liam on the back. "Proud of you, son. Visit anytime." Liam's look toward me held a quiet farewell, weighted with memory and promise. Life resumed its familiar cadence. Yet fractures beneath the surface remained in the following days. Isabella's messages hinted at her own healing, her move to a new coastal town, a fresh start. Daniel and I found solace in simple routines, our walks along the waterfront a quiet reaffirmation of our bond. Yet in the quiet moments, Liam's presence echoed a reminder of what had stirred in me and what I could never quite erase. A small card from Liam arrived weeks later, depicting the Seattle skyline. His words were simple, grateful for the harbor, wishing calm seas. I tucked it away, a private talisman against the storm of memories. A reminder that some connections, though fleeting, leave indelible marks. The rain fell steadily outside, washing what it could, leaving me to navigate the depths I had discovered within myself. Through it all, I realized that the experience had not brought ruin, but a subtle transformation. I emerged quieter, stronger, a woman reshaped by desire, longing, and the choices I had faced. The currents of life continued, unpredictable yet navigable, and I felt ready to meet whatever lay ahead, with calm resolve and the knowledge that some experiences leave traces that linger forever. Listener, this chapter may have closed, but its echoes remain whispers of desire, temptation, and human connection that refuse to fade. The story's pulse endures, a testament to the intricate web of emotions that shape us. And while the storm has passed, the memory of its intensity, the lessons it taught, and the allure of what might have been continue to whisper in quiet moments, reminding us of the depths of the human heart.